Good evening. Welcome to another Way Day show, and we're just going to review the Arsenal versus Chelsea match. And yeah, it was an interesting game. So going to start with Prime, the Chelsea lineup. You had Mendy, James, Zuma, Thiago Silva, Chilwell, Kovacic, Kante, Pulisic, Abraham, and Mount, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And Werner, sorry. What did you think of that lineup?
To be expected, to be fair. I mean, James and Chilwell, we thought they were injured out and stuff. And when I saw them in the school in the 11, I was like, you know what, cool. I'm actually kind of happy with that. I was thinking, yeah, Frank, that's a bit of mind games,
Yeah.
for Arsenal. Gives them something to worry about. It's actual, quality for our fullbacks and everything. Yeah, that's going to be another threat. They have to handle. Going into this game, you were thinking they're not going to be here. How is that going to affect their game plan? So I was thinking, yeah, that should make things more interesting. It should give us a bit more of an advantage.
So what if you was picking a team? Would that have been your team? What would you have done different?
What the players that we had at our disposal?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I would have started Callum Hudson-Odoi actually.
Yeah.
And I would have played Callum out wide and then put Werner through the middle instead of Tammy. Or I would have played Giroud up front instead of Tammy and just stuck with that same 11.
You know what? I think playing Tammy played into our hands, to be fair.
Yeah.
I would have personally gone with Giroud because he would have bullied both of those guys silly. So I thought that would have been probably the only change I would have made from that. Would have been to play Giroud and not Tammy.
Yeah, because as much as Tammy's tall and everything, and he's got the body strength, but he's just one of those players. I mean, because he's young, but he just doesn't know how to use his body. He tries to do things that physically he's not built up to do. So
I think with Tammy, I think everything needs to be perfect for him. For him to thrive, he needs everything to be going perfect. He needs the passes to be perfect. The team around him to be perfect. I think Giroud just plays just regardless who his teammates are. Like if you log the ball up to Giroud, you know what you're gonna get. You know he's gonna hold up the ball, he's gonna bounce the defenders about and bring others into play. I think we don't always know what we're gonna get with Tammy Abraham, so that I can see why he played him because with that front three, the pace usually would kill Arsenal all day long, but it didn't quite work yesterday. Charlotte, what with that lineup? What would you have done different?
Abraham would have been benched immediately. Werner would have been playing in his rightful position. Like you can't keep keeping Abraham happy if he's playing like this. Did you see him when he was like halfway through the game? Werner passes to him and he kicks the ball in the air. Like, hun, we're not playing rugby. We're not playing rugby. You're not kicking it over the bar. Like, come on. Like, I know he's young and he's got a lot to learn, but Werner is talented, and we've seen him when he plays in his rightful position. We've seen he gets goals. So I still don't get why we're not playing in his rightful position and we're trying to keep Abraham happy when actually, if we're really honest, Abraham's not doing the job properly. Like, I personally think yesterday Frank made a few mistakes.
How many goals has Abraham got this season?
Not enough.
I can actually check that. Continue. I'll check that.
Yeah, check that for me because I feel like he's got quite a few. Spurs have scored after a minute. Yeah, no, just.
What you mean all comps?
Just because I mean, like people are saying that he doesn't deserve to play, but I feel like
I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to play. I'm just saying at the minute he's not proved himself in the last few matches.
Yeah,
like Werner's proved himself. Like even though he's in an uncomfortable position, he doesn't actually want to play in this position. Werner's proved himself more. So why is Werner not getting his starting lineup, and why are we not keeping Werner happy? Like, because eventually there's only so many times you can try and keep everything happy before you have to make harsh decisions to like who starts where.
I mean, I counter that though. Don't you think he misses a lot of chances though, Werner? And I don't think it's anything to do with. I would say a lot of chances, but do you think him missing chances has anything to do with where he's playing on the pitch? Like,
No, I don't. Here's the thing. I actually don't think he misses a lot of chances. I think.
no, yeah. I didn't mean saying loads, but I mean like the chances that people keep talking about.
Yeah, but it's because the one or two chances, or maybe one chance per game that he will miss.
Yeah.
It's because it's an absolute sitter, and that's what people will focus on. But
Yeah.
I look at
Yeah.
Lewandowski. He misses sitters as well, but because he's bagging
100%.
35 a season, no one focuses on it.
Yeah.
But Werner's the big money signing, and he has to kick on, and he has to do well. Again, I don't have a problem. He's still up there in terms of like goal contributions, goals and assists.
Yeah.
He's also not playing centrally. He's also working under a young, inexperienced manager. He's also coming into a team that needs to find a way to gel again.
Mm-hmm.
Because bringing in 7 players is obviously going to affect the team. I also look at Tammy's stats. Tammy, in 14 Premier League appearances, has 6 goals and 2 assists. In 5 Champions League games, has 1 goal, 2 assists. And in the Carabao Cup, if that's what it's called, has 2. He has 2 appearances, 1 goal, 2 assists. So 8 goals and 6 assists in 21 games.
Which is it's decent though, isn't it? Like, it's one of those ones where if you really want to be challenging, you would want a couple more goals. You'd probably want him to be on about 10 or so, like just keeping up with everybody else. But I don't know. I just think what we've seen from Timo in another country and stuff like that, I think we're expecting a bit more from him. But I always say, like, you can't judge the guy on the first season. So hopefully he does get to go through the middle and prove a lot of these doubters wrong, to be honest. With the Arsenal starting lineup, were you guys surprised to see anything there?
I mean,
so we started with
William wasn't there, so I was surprised. Like the two Chelsea agents were missing in action, which was disappointing, because I thought they could have given us a red, like last time, David Luiz with like the red card, Agent Luiz. But I mean, that I kind of maybe thought it was, but I was shocked with the lineup because it's such a poor lineup that they've put out. If you look at how they've played recently, it's such a poor lineup. They've got Lacazette, Bellerin, El Neni, Holding. It's not the best team. And the only player that I kind of actually was I thought should have got man of the match was Martinelli.
Yeah.
But I don't think Saka did. But I think Saka got it because of his goal. But personally, I think Martinelli was the better.
So, Natish, Tammy is a poor man's Lukaku. He generally scores against smaller teams. He scored against us again. But yes, we have been playing like a small team this season again. Is that...
I mean, it is true he scores against smaller teams. But poor man's Lukaku,
That's offensive.
That is... Natish, even I'm a bit upset with that one, man. I think he's hard. I mean... He's playing for Chelsea, so he's going to be under scrutiny all the time, regardless what he does. Do I think he's the man to lead Chelsea to a title? No, I don't. But do I think he can help Chelsea win a title? 110%, because you need players like that who's going to chip in 15, 20 goals a season. And he's proven that he can do it. So,
yeah, no, I don't think it was the right game for him to start. I don't I get you could have brought him on, but I personally would have put someone more experienced up there because he genuinely, the nickname he's got of Bambi on Ice, he looked like Bambi on Ice. He really did.
It's just gangly though, isn't he?
He didn't know what to do. And I think you sometimes need that experience in these kind of games.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Frank Lampard has to accept responsibility because he messed up big time. There were some big decisions and he messed up.
So let's talk about the first goal. First goal, obviously a penalty. For me, both penalties were soft. I think
so was the free kick.
I think both penalties were soft. But if we break down the actual attack to lead to the penalty, I kept saying it for the whole game. I think that the two guys that are playing wide, Timo and Pulisic, didn't help Chilwell and James at all. And if both were slightly injured, they deserved a bit more help. And it was 2-on-1 every single time. So I think that was one of the things that Frank was probably annoyed about yesterday when he said players were a bit lazy, that they weren't tracking their guys back. On the second goal, the free kick, like you're saying, again, a dubious free kick. But I don't know. Are you guys rating Kante at the moment? Does he look tired? Does he look... I don't know. Something doesn't seem quite right with Kante. Prime, do you think he's firing?
I think because he's not a DM. I think because I think because he's not a DM. Not a DM. He's not a sitting DM where he's just going to sit in front of your defense. I've kept saying this. If we're going to play him on his own in this single pivot, if he gets pressed or whatever, he's dangerous. He's going to get exposed. Against Leeds, he got pressed and he couldn't really deal with it until we tweaked things in the second half. He didn't deal with it in this game. That's why I keep saying. That's why when we're being linked with Declan Rice, I don't laugh at it, because having a DM in bigger games or against teams that play with a press, having a DM that can sit and be stable, which allows Kante to be more free and do what he does, win the ball all over the pitch, that is vital. Now, if you don't like Declan Rice, fine. I mean, Ndidi is world class and he is the dream or whatever, but having a DM there would help in bigger games.
Yeah, because I think, I was going to say, that's what I think at the moment, he's overthinking things. Like, usually when we see Kante at his best, like when he's playing at the best of his ability, when he was playing for Leicester, he was everywhere. But like, I feel like he's stuck in a position at the moment and he's not covering as much ground as he usually does. And I think that's because what's beside him, like, who was it yesterday? Kovacic started there, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like, what's your thoughts on him?
I don't not rate him.
Yeah.
Then I don't like. He's a decent player, but he's not the best.
Yeah.
He does his job and he does it, and he doesn't make that many mistakes. I'm not saying he doesn't make mistakes, but he doesn't make as many as needed. So
do you think for the money, like, he's been worthwhile, or do we just not count money in this signing of Kovacic? Because it was quite a bit of money. It wasn't like 50 mil.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't 50 mil.
It wasn't quite that much.
So. I think it was a bit less, but I think he has been.
Yeah, you do.
He's been a good signing. He was player of our season last season. He's one of the best midfielders that we have. He is maybe he's not world class, but he's on the border of being world class. But the thing is, we've got different midfielders that bring different type of things to the game. Jorginho flips and controls the game. Kante is the ball winner, essentially. He's press resistant and he can dribble through essentially a ball carrier. Mount brings a lot of hard work. He works well when he has to press, and he brings a lot to the defensive side of the game that people don't notice. And then Havertz is this, I guess, mercurial type player where he's kind of, I guess, like an X factor, but you have to, because he can sometimes, I guess, look sluggish or whatever in a game, you have to try and mitigate against him. I'm someone who, if you have luxury players in the game, like someone like Hazard who doesn't do well defensively, or someone like Ozil or Xhaka who doesn't have the recovery pace, or whoever it may be, you have to try and set up where you protect against that, or else you'll get exposed. And I don't think Frank has found a balance yet within our midfield.
And do you think that is because he maybe hasn't signed all of these players, so he doesn't quite know what to do with them? Or do you think it's totally just he needs a bit more time for trial and error?
I think both.
Yeah.
Havertz wasn't his signing because Havertz just kind of came out of nowhere. Mendy wasn't his signing either. He wanted to get rid of Kepa and bring in Oblak. Chilwell he wanted all along. Ziyech he wanted. Werner he wanted, but again he kind of popped out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But then again, you're not going to turn your head to someone like Werner. So I think it's that. Also the factor of injuries where you haven't had your best or you haven't had your squad fit to figure out what is your best 11 and what works for everybody to settle in. Also the fact of you've signed 7 players, you're going to have to, it's going to take time for everyone to gel, embed in.
We're going to get onto that a bit later, actually, because I want to get onto that. But Natish says, also, who brings on Jorginho when your 2 goes down? I get it. He wanted to change the style of play, but still, Jorginho over Giroud, that was kind of stupid with all the crosses in that game.
No.
It made sense. I think he tried to get the possession. He tried to win the possession game. That's the way to beat Arsenal. If you win midfield, you win the game. It's that simple. So Jorginho keeps the ball moving. I thought it was a smart move, but it didn't kick on. Charlotte, what was you going to say?
I don't think that Jorginho, bringing on Jorginho was a bad move. I think bringing on Havertz was his mistake. I think Havertz was the mistake. I don't think Jorginho was. I think when you get to that point in the game and Giroud statistically has a point of coming on and getting a goal in the last 15 minutes, you want to bring someone on that can give you that oomph to get another goal, like if it's possible. I think bringing on, because Havertz didn't actually make an impact in my opinion. Like I really forgot sometimes he was actually on the pitch. Like I was like, I saw him on camera and I was like, oh yeah, he's on the pitch. Oh yeah, forgot about him. Like I really did.
Yeah, as Bob says, there's no shame in playing direct. I think Chelsea didn't start playing until they had about 15, 20 minutes in the first half where it looked like they were getting into the game, and then they didn't start playing again until Hudson-Odoi came on and just he changed the game. If you guys scored that penalty, I genuinely think we would have drew that match 3-3 if you guys would have scored that penalty. But yeah, the whole Giroud thing, it's still puzzling. I think he could have got you guys back into that game. So I just want to talk about the overreaction. Like I've seen just crazy tweets like from last night to today. Do you guys feel there's been an overreaction from Chelsea fans? Charlotte, you go first.
I mean, I probably when I was watching the live stream, I was probably one of those fans overreacting. I think I was just so annoyed and so disappointed in how my team was playing.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing.
I think that's different. During the game is different. I think after a while, once you lay a process and stuff, and
but afterwards, I haven't tweeted anything after. I kind of just came off it because I didn't want to say anything silly. But I personally, there's these fans that I've seen being really dramatic, and I'm I have opinions. I am on the fence about Frank. I'll happily admit that, but I'm not one of them people to just be Frank out. I'm on the fence because he's made mistakes, but I'm also on the fence because I think he deserves a chance. But I mean, you have to show me that you want it. Don't make the same mistakes again, basically. But I think the people on all these fans, it's the same thing over and over again. Everyone overreacts and is Lampard out, every player on the in the starting 11 out, and I'm but if you want every player out, who's going to be in the team then? You want everyone out, who's in your team? I don't get it at all. It is ridiculous. People are angry tweeting all this Chelsea rubbish, and I'm it's not necessary because it's getting nasty now. It's gone from just Lampard out to trashing people and the players and the manager, and that's not fair.
So let's just quickly address this one. Chilwell hasn't signed for Chelsea yet. He's still on the way. He will make it to Stamford Bridge one day. Do you think this guy's just on a wind up?
Yeah, he is. Chilwell,
I mean,
statistically, has been one of the best left backs in the league.
Oh, he's been the best left back, or one of the best left backs for the last since he came into the Leicester team. To be fair,
yeah. So that's funny banter, but you can't.
So, Prime, what do you think about overreaction? Do you think fans are okay? Is it just been mad overreaction? I mean, the little group that us three are in, Like I saw some things in there. I was just like, I wanted to delete myself out of the group.
It's annoying because
I just feel like it's childish. I think
you
it's
have both sides, right? You have people who have been backing Frank 100% over the past few months.
Yeah.
And then now, because for me, I'm not even looking at Everton most because we lost to Arsenal.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they're switching because it's a bad result. And these are the same fans that switched with Sarri when we went on an unbeaten run. Then we lost. We had 2 bad results against City, 6-0, and then Bournemouth, 4-0. And all of a sudden, they switched. Like, for me, you can't say you're backing someone and based off one game, you're going to automatically switch. Also, the other side of things, I get people that just want Frank out because I've listened to it, and from their point of view and everything, I understand it 100%. But I think from both sides, because they're thinking that the thing of winning the league or the Champions League and everything, that's why they don't think he's good enough to do that. And me personally, I also don't think he's good enough to do that either. I'm open to be proven wrong, but for me,
it's so hard. I don't know.
I think no, but again, for me, I think the realistic expectations I've had since he came in, and what makes sense is the fact that he's coming in to rebuild and change our culture within the squad, because we've had this mentality problem now with Jose when he first came back. Second season, we win the league. Next season, people stop playing for him. Conte comes in, we win the league for a season. Second season, people stop playing for him. Sarri last season, we go on, or 2 seasons ago now, I guess. We go on a 17, 18 game unbeaten run. We beat City. I think we beat Liverpool. We're one of the only teams left in Europe that's unbeaten up until December. 2 bad results. Everyone switches on him. Even Frank said it last season, there's a mentality problem. So you can't have 4 managers now saying the exact same thing and think it's a manager problem solely. So Frank is there to kind of change the mentality problem within the squad and transition the team to play a more attractive brand of football. Because Roman, one of the things that he's wanted for Chelsea is to build a dynasty, which we've been doing since he's came, win the Champions League, which we did in 2012, and play an attractive brand of football. We did it with Ancelotti, but he sacked him too early in the second season, or at the end of the second season because we didn't retain the league. Okay. We brought in Andres Villas-Boas to play that attractive style of football, but because the way Boas was going with it, he lost the dressing room because he was trying to too quickly get rid of our experienced players. And that wasn't working. They revolted against him.
Yeah.
And that's when the start of the player power happened, by the way. They revolted against him, got him sacked. Di Matteo came in, everyone played for him. He won the FA Cup and Champions League. Di Matteo got given the job full time. We brought in we already had Mata, we brought in the likes of Oscar and Hazard, and we started playing this attractive brand of football, but Di Matteo clearly wasn't good enough. He got sacked. We brought in Benitez as interim till the end of the season. We won the Europa League with him. We then brought in Jose to rebuild the team and, and everything. But because we stopped backing Jose in the third season and players stopped playing for him, he got sacked. Same thing with Conte. He was trying to. I heard this thing of we're going to build a dynasty and build for the future and everything and dominate the league for years to come. He got sacked. The same thing happened with Sarri. He got sacked. So for me, the thing is, let him build a better team for us for the future.
I think the overreaction is probably brought on by Abramovich as well, because like you're saying, all these people had good first seasons. Second season probably wasn't that great, and then he's just been like, okay, I need a new guy to come shake things up. And I think the Chelsea fans have now started doing that themselves. So as soon as you don't perform in that first season, it's like we need to change our manager. But I don't think changing Lampard right now makes sense. I don't think it makes sense. I think he's going to get you top 4, to be honest. So it doesn't make sense.
I'm going to have to go now because I've got to go for
no
another
way.
stream. I'll see you guys later. Bye.
See you later.
But
yeah, for me, it doesn't make sense, to be honest. So Lampard versus Arteta. Who do you think is going to lose their job first?
I don't think any of them will get sacked. I don't think neither of them will get sacked this season.
Yeah. Like I think yesterday gave Arteta a bit of time. I think with Lampard, like people have been quick to judge him because like all those names that you mentioned, all those managers that you mentioned, they're all winners. This is Lampard's first like real, what I'll say, a real job. And people forgetting that last season he couldn't sign anyone, but still got you Champions League football. And then he's basically signed 2 seasons worth of players in 1 season. So it's never going to work that he's going to get all of those people firing in the first season. So I'm like, he's got another. I would give him till Christmas next year. Is that fair?
Yeah, I get. Because even because how weird the season is, if we had won yesterday, I think we would have gone second.
That's the thing.
But then we lose, and now we're depending how results go today, and if we lose against Villa, I think we're like 10th or 9th.
It's just
how weird the season is. So, can we still get top 4? Yes, we can. Just based on the fact of look at our team and look at everyone else and look at other competitions. You've got Atletico Madrid, so more than likely we're knocked out last 16. Liverpool won the league anyway, but you think they're getting to the quarter or semi-final. United and Spurs both have to play in the Europa League, and you think they're both falling away in the league. Europa League might be the safest bet in winning a trophy, so they might go for that, which makes it a bit easier for us. Leicester, they're going to fall away and then come back in near the end. Everton, same thing, they'll fall away and come back in near the end. You think
out of those teams that you've mentioned, and those teams in say the top 6 or 7, I think you're the only team that are going to get better. Like obviously Liverpool are going to get better once they get everybody back. But I think you guys are only going to get better. I think Man United, I think this is as good as they're going to get. Unless they get some like 2-3 world-class signings in January, this is as good as Man United are going to get. They're not going to get any better than how they're playing right now. Same with Spurs. I don't think they can get any better. Like they can just keep going on at what they're doing. And the same with most other teams. But I think you guys are still trying to find your core 11. Timo is going to get better. Havertz is going to get better. So you guys have a bit more to give, I think. And that's why I think you guys are going to finish in the top 4. Frank's biggest problem is he can't go back to the team from last season, which just needed a better keeper and centre-back, Mendy and TS, and he could still challenge for the title, but he has to use the new stars. Do you agree with that?
I think you look at our team from last season. We finished 4th last season, and that is a fair assessment of how things were because we were 4th the majority of the season.
Yeah.
But you look at the little things and mistakes that he made, again, because he's inexperienced, so that's not really me bashing him or anything, but a better manager, I keep saying, because the criticism I had of Frank last season is how bad our defense was. Not just Kepa, but the whole defense and our structure. But a better manager, we don't concede as many goals. Even as bad as our centre backs were, you could say, we don't concede as many goals because we find a partnership, we stick with it, and a better manager tries and protects how bad Kepa is, whether it's by dropping him for 2 months until he sorts out what's going on in his personal life, or it's by playing a lot more defensive and limiting how much goals we're conceding.
So we've got Lampard in, Anita, a monster, flip-flop, set Lampard and big them up only for him to be backstabbed and sat nowhere. I can believe their statement. I'm not quite sure. I know who they are, but I haven't heard their statement. So I
don't really flip-flop. I actually talked to Monster today, to be fair. They're not. No, they're not. I wouldn't necessarily say they're flip-flops. I thought to myself, but I talked to Monster about it, and he's been. I know he was confident in stuff going into the season, play for our rivals and all of that, but he was kind of uh, past few games and stuff, and even during our unbeaten run, he was talking about things and the negatives and stuff a bit. But because we're on this great run, you can't really. If you say something, you're told as being negative. Because when we were going through our unbeaten run, and I was noticing mistakes from our goalkeepers, mistakes from midfield, the fact of we can't finish certain things and whatever, mistakes from Lampard, I was being told that I'm not a real fan and being negative. So I get that. But now, because of it's against Arsenal, you're seeing everyone switch. And I don't know if that's how they truly feel. They've always felt this all along, or they're only being reactionary. Also, you're seeing fans overprotecting Lampard. I'm seeing people say things like, "Oh, I'm not Lampard out, but if I'm backing Lampard because there's no other manager out there," or I'm backing Lampard 100%. I don't care if we lose 20 league games in a row, or Lampard, he's a true Chelsea man. He knows what it takes and stuff like that. But none of that is a real metric on anything. Gunnar, you're an Arsenal fan. I'm sure you love Arsenal and everything, but you're not qualified to manage Arsenal, just like I'm not qualified to manage Chelsea.
That is my exact point when I see crazy statements. Like I listen. Whenever you talk, I listen. I like to see what Prime is going to say. I like what Daniel Baranji is going to say. I like to see what Kojo is going to say, because you guys actually think what you're saying before you just say it. Like, people just say it, and I think, again, it's a bit of social media as well. Like, what sells, what people gravitate to, is people just saying outrageous things, people shouting and doing crazy things. That's why Arsenal Fan TV is so big, because people like to see the meltdowns. Like, I don't know if I've heard anything like of sense on that show. It's just crazy. But yeah, like, everyone's allowed their opinion. If you're franking, you're franking. If you're frank out, you're frank out. That's your opinion, innit? But sometimes, like you're saying, you have to have some sort of evidence to back up what you're saying. You can't just say Frank in because he played for Chelsea. That's not a logical. Even people like saying Arteta in because he played for Arsenal. I see where they're coming from, but this is the big league now. This is the Premiership. You're the manager. That's not gonna get you far. How can your opinion be based on fact?
Yeah, again, it's like when people say Frank, he's not a good manager or whatever, or he's not good enough, I always talk and say specify what you mean, because look, he is good enough. He's good enough to to manage in the Premier League. He's good enough to get top four. Is he good enough to challenge for a title? Yeah, potentially, yes.
Yeah.
Is he good enough to win a title or win a Champions League? No, not yet. Not without experience.
We just don't know, do we? Like, that's the thing. Like, that's the exciting thing. I think all you can do is give him time. We don't know what Roman said to him. He might have said to Frank, "We're giving you 3 years. I'm not going to sack you within those 3 years, but you've got to keep us sort of in those Champions League spots. But by the third year, I want to see us really mount a serious challenge." If that's what he said to him, then all of this is irrelevant. Like, it's just mad irrelevant conversations we're all having. But I just think Chelsea are like, now you've got Liverpool, but Chelsea and Chelsea and Man City, I think, are the only two teams where their board actually demands trophies, where they say you have to win a trophy or you're getting sacked. I don't think there's any other team in the Premiership that are like that at the moment, because even with Liverpool, they've got Klopp, but they can't afford to lose him, so they can't be talking crazy to Klopp. Arsenal haven't asked for trophies. I don't think we've ever asked for trophies, to be honest. Like, even when Wenger was there, I don't even know if they've ever requested trophies. So you don't win trophies if you don't request them. I hope Lampard doesn't get sacked, but we don't know what goes through a Roman's head. If we get another manager, can we guarantee that Havertz, Mount and Mendy will be in the other manager plans? Will he be passionate about Chelsea, or will he be like Sarri, rigid and doesn't care? Do you think Sarri doesn't care?
Sarri did care. Like when people say passionate and stuff like that and doesn't care, what do they mean? Is it because Frank played for the club and he loves the club? He's passionate, yes. So, but does that not mean sometimes his passion and love for the club will blind him in terms of what the right thing to do?
Old as well, man. Like, it can't get
Yes,
sorry right.
because he was experienced. He worked his way up to the top. He deserved to be there. He's one of the most underrated and disrespected managers in Europe, in my opinion.
110%.
Yeah, because me personally, I do think he's. It might be a bit mad what I'm about to say, but I think he's as good as Klopp or Pep. If he was given the time from when he first came in up until now, would we be challenging for the league this season? Like actually challenging? Yes, we would.
Like, I think with managers like that, I think you have to have if he had people like Drogba, Lampard, players with that sort of mentality, Sarri would win you the league all day long. But he had this new breed of footballer where they're just like this new breed of footballer. They're kind of moist, innit? Like if they don't like something, they're gonna try to get you sacked, innit? And that's why everyone was like, Lampard said he wanted to keep Willian, but he didn't really want to keep Willian, innit? He knew what Willian and Luiz and the rest of them had done to previous managers. He couldn't risk having that in his dressing room. So I get what Lampard's trying to do. He's trying to get young, fresh players that he can sort of mold and who are going to fight for him, because you can't trust older players right now. We're seeing it with Arsenal. The people that are on the biggest wages are the people that are not performing. So it's just a hard one. It's a hard one, man. But yeah, I say give him. I'm willing to back Arteta up until the end of the season. If we don't get top 8 this season, then I think it's we need to seriously worry about what's going on. So yeah, on to the next. Get back to yesterday's game. Do you think it was a fair result? Like, what did you see yesterday that you weren't really? Obviously, you weren't happy with the result, but were there any performances that you feel like really let you down? Any particular player?
We were just bad as a team. James and Chilwell played well. Played well. He played okay. James is just slow and sluggish. So if he wasn't fully fit, it didn't make sense to play him and risk him. Just Kante had an awful game again. There is no creativity up front. But again, I just think we just played so terrible. I don't think Arsenal were overly world class or amazing. But again, you can only play who's in front of you, and take nothing away from Martinelli. Martinelli's an amazing player. I love that guy. And Smith Rowe, I hear Arsenal fans talking about him this season, and he's been playing Europa League games, and I've watched a few Europa League games you've played. But again, it's Europa. You've played with the likes of Dundalk. You can't necessarily.
The thing is, I still didn't see much yesterday that warrants everybody going crazy about this guy. Yes, he's different. Yes, he's hungry for it. But I didn't see anything spectacular. It's not like Jones at Liverpool where you automatically see something special straight away. Just even the way he receives the football, just the way he turns, everything about Jones, it's just silky. I didn't see enough from Smith Rowe for what everybody's been carrying on with for the last couple of days.
Maybe there's overhype there. But
yeah.
He played, I don't know, just a bit of the spaces he was taking up and the energy that he provided, it was something there.
Yeah. Let's see. We beat Chelsea because our creative midfield void was filled by Emil Smith Rowe, and we both had outlets. When we have that versatility in our attack, we are a bigger threat to team. Well, I mean that's obvious, isn't it? Like if you most of the time we've been playing, Xhaka and El Neni with nothing special in front of him. All you need is someone that's going to be forward thinking, and Arsenal automatically a better team. Give Lampard till 2022, then I'll have no excuses for him. Will you give him that long prime?
2022.
That's 2 years from now. So would that be 4 years altogether?
What are we on? 2020, 2021. This is his second year. 2021, 2022 will be the end of his third year. Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
fair. Yes, fair. Yeah, no,
I say that, but again,
it just depends on where you are in it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have blind faith. I'm not like that as a person. I need to see something when it comes to football. So
Yeah,
if he's repaying that, like, I don't necessarily believe sacking the manager through a season will help unless you're doing it abysmally bad. But because again, I still think we can still get top four. Win the FA Cup, we can win it. You know, there's no other team in the league that I necessarily fear in playing. Maybe Liverpool, but we can win the FA Cup if we finish fourth and win the FA Cup.
That's a good season.
Then that is a good season, and then we go from there next season. Can we actually challenge and win the league? Let's see how Frank does next season and give him that. But again, there needs to be progress. If we finish fifth or sixth.
That's what I was going to say. Daniel Bamaji alluded to it, and you saw his Instagram post.
Yeah.
Is there progress? That's what you've got to measure it on.
I don't know. But again, if it is true, there is this plan. I wanted to see from Roman. Say we finish fifth or sixth or something. Yeah. Does Frank get sacked? If Roman doesn't sack him and is giving that faith and trust in him, then cool. I have to back it because Roman. People can say sometimes he sacked managers too early or whatever. Cool, but he hasn't steered Chelsea wrong. He wants the best for this football club. So if Roman thinks sacking Frank, if Roman sacks Frank tomorrow, then I'll back it because it's the right thing to do in his eyes. Or if he thinks giving Frank 3 years, even if he finished, say, 8th this season, then I will still back it because that's what he thinks is the right thing to do.
Do you think Chelsea will sign a few players in January? I don't think they've got space to sign any players. What do you think, Brian?
Depends on who we get rid of. If we can get rid of Rudiger, or we can get rid of Rudiger or Jorginho or something, and get in Declan Rice, who Frank wants.
Yeah.
Then yes. So a CDM. But other than that, no.
So, what's your thoughts on Tomori? Because I see some tweets where people are like sack Frank because he's not playing Tomori.
Yeah, he's not playing, and he's the guy so talented. Last season,
so you rate him that highly, yeah?
Yeah, last season we went on an unbeaten run. We were just beating teams, and it was because he was playing in our team. Our defense looked so good, and there was no problems with Kepa or anything. Him and Zuma built up a partnership. And with Thiago Silva coming in, I wasn't against it because you do need a leader if we're not going to build a partnership. But my thing was, whenever Silva doesn't play because he can't play every game, he's 36, then Zuma and Tomori have to play together because you have to establish and build and strengthen a partnership together. But that's not the case. It seems like Rudiger's playing, which again, I understand it because seniority within a squad and you don't want to stabilize things. But if we had got rid of Rudiger in the summer, like was the plan, then Tomori would be playing a lot more games. It's a shame that he's not. But again, because we got knocked out of the Carabao Cup so early, if we were still in the Carabao Cup, I'm sure he would be playing in that. Also, if we I know we still topped our group and we still finished relatively comfortable, but if we had won our first game against Sevilla, that means our last 2 group games would have been free hitters and he could have played in one of those. So, I would like to see him play more because I do think he is one of the best young centre-backs in England.
Yeah.
English centre-backs. I rate him that highly. He's so talented. But again, he's not playing. I don't. My only thing is he should have gone out on loan because he was supposed to go to Everton. And I don't know why he didn't go because learning from Ancelotti would have been amazing for him. But if Rudiger leaves in January, which could actually happen to PSG, then that means Tomori comes in as that third centre back, and I'm fine with that.
And Hudson-Odoi, what about him? I know we briefly spoke on him. Should he be starting?
Yes and no.
This is a
When
weird one
everyone,
for me. I have seen him play,
yeah,
and he started matches. I haven't seen enough to say that he definitely should be starting. But every time he's come on this season as a sub, he's changed the game completely, like the injection. So is that best for him at the moment, just to keep coming on as a sub?
we've had these injuries with our wingers, and it's a thing of why not play him instead of having Havertz out wide or Werner out wide or Mount out wide. And I get that. But because he's so young, and we've seen in England young players burst through and being thrown all this hype and expectations, and within a few years, when they go through dips in form because they're young, fans get on their backs.
Yeah.
The media gets on their backs because they've built them up to be this big talent that they can't live up to being that young.
Yeah.
Or they haven't lived up to yet being that young. They get ripped apart. Look at, Rashford in the media. Look at Sterling. Callum, he had a sexual assault allegation, and yes, he was innocent, but look how the media twisted and took that. And people are saying, well, look at Saka at Arsenal, how well he's playing and everything. Yeah, cool. But he also went through a dip in form this season. And there were fans saying that he should get out of the team and stuff, that he's performing well.
You can't win, can you? I think what helped Frank last season is that he couldn't sign any players. So that was the time to bring in all the younger players, get them experience, and also get them, like, they need to know what it's like to play for Chelsea, to be honest. And the only way they're going to know is by playing games that actually mean something. So I know you were saying that obviously if they would have stayed in the Carabao Cup and stuff, then these guys will probably get more games. But that's not the top of Chelsea's agenda, is it? So
yeah,
I mean,
and also it's these are players who played in our youth academy. That's one of the best in the country, who are used to winning. They're used to fighting. You're playing men's football now. You're not going to play every week.
That's the thing. I think
man up about it and earn your spot and take your chances when you get them. I don't necessarily think it's a big deal, because when you actually look at it, he has been getting minutes. People are saying if he went to Bayern Munich, he'd be playing more. Yes, because Bayern dominate their league anyway. But no, because when you actually factor it and then you translate it over, he still wouldn't be starting week in, week out for them. So
I think this is the whole thing with the whole German league anyway that I find a massive problem. Not a massive problem, because it's not our problem, but you've seen all the young players that have gone over there. So Nelson went over there on loan last season. Obviously Sancho's over there. Bellingham's over there. All these young players are over there, but Nelson's come back and can't even get near the Arsenal squad. So again, that to me, that sort of shows the level. And do you feel like that has been an issue with Timo and Havertz, that they were so good in Germany that people seem to think that they can just go straight from Germany to England and do the same thing? And the thing is, they're so young, so it's hard anyway.
Yeah, the Bundesliga, they all play with such a high line that it's so easy to get in behind. But people have to remember, they're young. Havertz, I know people call him a generational talent. I don't personally think so, because I think that word can only be reserved for special players. Like, I think the only two generational talents we currently have is Haaland and Mbappe. And even out of those two, I think only one of them is the talent. But yeah, well,
which one's the talent?
Haaland.
Thank you. I just had thank you, because as much as I love Mbappe, but I just thought he's gonna. I'm hoping he's gonna be something. I hope he's gonna get a better move and play some proper football, because playing football in France, it's just too. It's below him, and it's below him. It's below Neymar. To be fair, that it's just easy. They're picking up wages, they're scoring, but Haaland is actually doing it in another country. He's doing it on international level as well. If he gets the Chelsea move, because I know there was talk, that wins you the league, 110%. He's that good.
Mbappe is still. I mean, they're both still young and raw, but
Yeah.
when Mbappe burst through, the hype was due to the Monaco team, and he went to PSG. I don't think he's really grown much. But you look at Haaland. What they were in Liverpool's group with Albi's Salzburg, and he was the best player. When he played Liverpool, both legs or both ties, he was the best player. In January, went to Dortmund and still translated that goal scoring form.
Yeah,
I think if you take their goals since January at Dortmund until the end of the season, I think he outscored Lewandowski or something like that. So
that's crazy, isn't it?
Just showed how special this guy truly is. Mbappe, again, people don't get it twisted. He's still one of the best young players in the world, or second best young player in the world, I should say. And he probably will end up winning more Ballon d'Ors than Haaland just because of the popularity contest. But yeah, these young players, just give them time to develop. Werner, same thing, coming in. He's still young. Not many players, I think, but people would keep saying the Premier League, it's the toughest league in the world, it's the hardest league in the world and everything. Then, I'm not expecting every player to come in and automatically.
That's what contradicts the whole thing, isn't it? That 1 minute we're saying it's the hardest league to come and play in, but then when players are finding it hard, we're not giving them time to adjust to it. Like, the difference is, I actually think those two are going to adjust. Someone like Pepe, for me, at Arsenal, he doesn't want it enough to be a success. I don't think he wanted to join Arsenal in the first place, but it was something that Lille couldn't turn down, and his agent was going to make millions from it. So it was something they couldn't turn down. But you could just see he doesn't enjoy it. He wants to go back to France, play easy football, but that's fair. That's fair dues to him. That's what he wants to do in it. But I feel like Timo and Havertz, I think they're winners, and I think they're gonna want more. So reports suggest Haaland is top 3 targets of Declan. You've already said you want Declan.
Yeah, I do. Haaland.
What will be the other third player that you feel like you need?
Oblak. You need a world-class goalkeeper. Yeah, we need a look. People think I have a problem with Mendy. I don't. But if this whole thing is building, building for the future and having, because a world-class goalkeeper, then Oblak is who's out there and he's also available. Because whenever I ask the question, do you guys think Mendy can be world-class? People don't give me the answer. So
I don't think he can be. He doesn't look like a winner, if that makes sense. He just, I said it yesterday. I just feel like I've played football with a goalkeeper that looks like him. He just looks like a Sunday league goalkeeper. Everything he does is at 100 miles an hour. He makes top draw saves, but I think yesterday, the free kick, I think Oblak saves that free kick.
Pepper saves that free kick, funny enough.
Yeah. I was just saying, anyone tall that saves a free kick.
3 mistakes I remember him making this season.
Yeah.
He made that mistake, the penalty shootout in his debut against Spurs. He didn't go the right way for any penalty. The mistake he made against Southampton, where I don't know if it was actually it was 2 mistakes against Southampton. Where it wasn't Southampton. It was Everton, where he came out and you can see the penalty. Those 3 mistakes. I expect a world-class goalkeeper to not make the mistake against Everton, to not that free kick against Arsenal yesterday to save that, and also in the penalty shootout.
At least didn't have his shooting boots on yesterday because he gave him straight away, didn't he?
Exactly. So I don't. It's just yes, he's improved the defense to a point, but I don't trust it to go and win a title.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Even someone like Courtois and that, you could see just his stature, just look like a winner. Peter Cech, same thing. Just they have that stature, and I had high hopes for Mendy because of Kasper Schmeichel at Leicester. He doesn't have that stature as a massive goalkeeper. Like he doesn't. I don't think he puts fear into strikers. But
what, Schmeichel?
Yeah, Kasper Schmeichel.
I think he does.
You think he does?
Yeah, when we were talking about it and stuff and saying what goalkeeper should we get, and people kept saying Nick Pope. I don't agree with that. If you're going to buy someone who's in the league that's not part of the top six, then
Yeah,
I think Kasper Schmeichel is the best bet. Yeah, I think he
because
is the best
I'm
goalkeeper out of
surprised
it.
Man United never went for him. To be fair,
Exactly. I think even arguably you could say, well, no, yeah, you could say he's the third best goalkeeper in the league.
so that's interesting.
Yeah, but he's someone out there. He's won a league title before. He's experienced. He, I think he even knows how to save penalties as well, which is also a bonus. So, like, I don't. He'd be expensive, yes, because he's at Leicester,
Yeah,
and I'm not even saying he's world class, but he is. I mean, in terms of winning a title, he knows what it takes.
yeah.
So,
All right, last couple minutes now. Who have you guys got in the next match?
Aston Villa
So
tomorrow.
you got Aston Villa. Surely that's 3 points, but the way football's going at the moment, do you see getting 3 points, a draw? What do you see happening?
I don't. Funny enough, these players fight for him. So I don't think of a thing where they're going to down tools and get him sacked. So I think. Yeah, okay, yeah, I'll be honest. It'll be a draw.
You think it would be a draw?
Yeah, I think a 2-2 draw.
Who you hoping starts that match?
Depending if Reece James and Chilwell are fit, then the same back four. Kante. Me personally, I would play a pivot with Kante and Jorginho, and I would play a front. I'd play a 3 and then a striker of Callum Hudson-Odoi, Pulisic, Havertz as the 10, and then Werner up front.
And are you worried about Aston Villa? Because obviously they got Grealish, Watkins just looks like he could run all day long. Got Louise in midfield. That he's from Man City, wasn't he? Man City region.
He is. But that's why I'd really go against them. And we're playing at home, so really take the game to them, because as good as they've been, we do have the better players. We've got the squad. It should be a game where we should win, but all I can see is a draw.
So 2-0 Chelsea. If the players want to show faith and show a title winning mentality, they have to show up this week.
Yeah.
And it's the hardest week for Chelsea. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, well, we got Villa, then we're playing Man City. Yeah, so it is a tough week, especially after losing to Arsenal and then losing back to back to Everton and Wolves. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Another loss incoming for Chelsea if the midfield plays like that. This guy is a crazy gooner, but yeah, I think he is just. I think he's trying to get under prime skin, man.
No, he's true. Not the midfield, but the team in general. He's true. He's right. If we play like that against Villa, they'll beat us. Because look at what they did at Liverpool. So they can come to beat us.
True,
play like that against City, they'll rip us apart. So
I think the difference is I think Chelsea have a couple ways they can play. Aston Villa only have one way of playing. So if Frank can, you shouldn't be thinking about stopping Aston Villa. Aston Villa should be thinking about stopping you. So, but yeah, I think that midfield battle is where it's going to be. If you've got that right midfield, then you guys win that game. If your strikers put away their chances, obviously you win that game. I can see. Can Ross Barkley even play? I don't think he can play. Can he?
no, he can't. But he's also injured as well. So,
but yeah, no, it's been an interesting chat. Again, social media makes things a lot worse than they are. Like you guys lost the game. Arsenal are 15th, but realistically, are we a 15th club? Some people say yes, some people say no. I don't think yesterday's loss was as big as people made out. I don't think the victory was as big as people made out either, because it's just a crazy time at the moment.
It was overreaction from both sides, because
it's just massive.
Arsenal have been getting a lot of banter towards them the last month or so.
We had to come back.
Which I guess, if you guys lose against Brighton, it works for the means.
It's back to normal, isn't it? So
that's why Chelsea, it's the whole thing of, this is the worst Arsenal team in years, yada yada yada. People backing Frank blindly and everything. The way we lost to you guys, it's not like it was a 1-0. It's a 3-1 scoreline where we didn't show any fight or passion. We got outplayed for 90 minutes.
We hit the crossbar. Mendy just about saved Lacazette when he was about to lob him, so it could have been a lot worse. And I think that's the issue. That's what's probably annoyed Lampard most, is the way you lost the game. Not that you actually lost it, but it's the way you lost it. So you guys have got Villa, we've got Brighton. If we play the same team that we played yesterday, we beat Brighton. But if he decides to bring back in Willian, Aubameyang, and Louise, we lose the game. It's that simple. Right?
So what happens going forward? Does that mean no Aubameyang back in the team?
Right now, I think Aubameyang, he will be lucky because he could replace Lacazette. But Lacazette is a better footballer than him. Obviously, Aubameyang's a goal scorer, but Lacazette's a better footballer, and he could bring others in. He doesn't have the ability to do that. He just lives for being the last man for on goal and finishing. If I see Willian get back in this team, that's it for me, man. Like, gonna have to start having serious words with Arteta, man. But yesterday, people say it was a masterstroke. Half of these decisions that he made yesterday were enforced on us. So some of these players had to play, but at the same time, he could have chickened out and put Pepe and Aubameyang back in the team. So you've got to give him respect from that. But yeah, we'll see what happens, and we'll be having this conversation on Tuesday where you're probably laughing at us because we've just gone and lost to Brighton after we beat you guys. So that's why I just said what I had to say a couple times, but I didn't take it crazy as I saw people taking it crazy last night. I was like, you guys just be careful, man. Be careful, because when that Lee Gunner guy comes for people, but I see loads of people
at Lee Gunner and everything, and I'm just like,
you know what? Yeah, you see, my major problem with him is the way he says things, because I feel like he always has a point. He's always correct, but it's the way that he puts it over. Sounds like he's being demeaning to other fans and I think that's my problem with him. But he's not incorrect in anything. Like what he's actually saying, he's actually right. But I think it's just the way he says things that sometimes I just look at it as like you could have just said that without being rude to the person that you're talking to. And I know a lot of the time he is replying on the basis of someone saying something stupid to him, innit? But like I've been reading his tweets and he does talk a lot of sense. So I've got no problem with him, to be fair. And I know a lot of people do. There are other people from AFTV and stuff that just like, you guys are you're just in it just for bants, innit? So
yeah, I mean, Lee Gunner, I get it, because when you have people like saying, because he's been a Tetter House since even before he got the job, and because you have people saying stuff like, oh, if you're not, there's no such thing as a Tetter in or a Tetter out. If you're not backing him or whatever, you're not a real fan and stuff like that. And again, same thing with Chelsea. I guess you can say the same. People are allowed to have their opinions, and so long as
that's it.
It does make sense. And what Lee's been saying, it does make sense. I've listened to what he said and everything. Then there's no real problem. I've had some Chelsea fans like a few months ago, even like Faye and Will CFC, they don't want Lampard or they want Lampard out and stuff like that, giving justifiable reasons, and then people have called them crazy and fake fans.
Yeah.
But now everyone's switched, so I'm just like, do you owe them an apology now? Like for me,
I do see you put that. Yeah, you owe an apology quite a bit.
Even who was your last game you guys played? Not Chelsea before that.
That's when we lost in it.
Was it Everton or the game beforehand? One of those games.
And we
After
drew
that result,
Southampton 1-1.
yeah, I put out a tweet and I said, all Arsenal fans that were abusing Lee Gunner, you all owe him an apology.
Yeah, I saw that, and he's like, none of them are gonna. Yeah, I saw that one.
Everything he's been saying is right thus far. Well, except the fact that he said Chelsea would beat Arsenal and you'd be like 17, 18, but you won't. So yeah.
It's Faye a real fan, so I heard that.
No, she's a real fan, trust me. You talk quite a bit and stuff like that. She's a real fan.
What I found though recently is just a lot of people are just extreme with their views, and I mean if that's just you as a person, then there's nothing. What can you do in it? But I just think I like talking to you and talking to other people because it's just you. I think you just got to be humble with your views. Like when you're outrageous with your views, that always comes back to you, man. Like even Monster, I had to laugh because the thing that he put up about this is going to be the end of Arsenal. We're going to final nail in the coffin. All of that, obviously, it's banner.
No, but the thing is, though, it should have been. He wasn't necessarily wrong. We should have beaten you, and then just based on, I guess you could say, on paper, the players that we have and how you guys were playing, we should have. But we didn't do anything, and it was just
I kept saying
the flip flop and the complete opposite of that is to just be like, get him out and stuff like that, and that's what I don't like.
I just keep saying, don't let the league table fool you right now. I mean, obviously we're playing really bad. That's the only fact I can give you right now about Arsenal is that we're playing really bad. But the whole league table is a false league table because, like you're saying, you could lose 2 games now and you guys could be 10th, but you're not a 10th team. Like, if you get what I mean, like your players are not of a team that should be 10th. So it's a false table. The table only makes sense when it gets to February, I think, personally. So just going to do this last one. Correlation between outrageous tweets and saying and being emotional because they don't want to get battered. Correlation between outrageous tweets and saying... I don't quite get that one, Hassan, but I think I get what you're saying. But yeah, people just speak in the heat of the moment, innit? So that's all I can say is they speak in the heat of the moment and fair dues. But on the final thoughts, you think you're gonna draw?
Yeah, against Villa, I think, assuming we play into their hands and everything, yeah.
And then on weekend, what do you think is gonna happen? Because I want to come back to this, see how close you were.
You know what's funny? Going into the game against Arsenal, I said, even as a joke, I even said that the banter side of me for Twitter is saying 8-0, but realistically it will be 3-1. I got the result, but not the right team. But people started clipping it up and saying 8-0, 8-0. No. Depending on how we are against Villa, it might change. But as of right now, 5-1 Man City.
I'm going to put it in the air that you guys are going to win 2-0 against Man City and you're going to beat Aston Villa 3-1. I'm going to put my neck on the line, give you guys next 2 wins.
Well, but you're a better Chelsea fan than I am.
No, I see it, man. I see it. But Prime, thank you again, man. This is the first show you've jumped on for me this week, so really appreciate it. Please just big up yourself. Tell us where we can find you.
Yeah, well, no, like I said to you in DMs and stuff, look, anytime you need me to come on for whatever it is, whether it's Chelsea or you're doing under 21 11 or whatever it may be, if I'm free, I'll jump on no matter what. Yeah, that's my Twitter. Adams Primax. I've been saying this for the last few weeks that this is where I rattle Arsenal fans, but I even said to you before the show, I feel like I haven't gotten enough abuse. So if you're an Arsenal fan, come at me, give me everything. I don't care really, so I would say it right now. But yeah, check out my YouTube channel where I do interviews and stuff with people, and we just have discussions and everything. And Gunnar, I will be getting you on sometime as well.
Definitely, bro, man. Thank you for coming on again. And please, people, please like and subscribe to my channel. And see you tomorrow. See you later.